So, how we doing, people? How we doing? We're back to discuss a game that is, you could probably say, part one of part one. If you want to talk about a trilogy of beatings, then we're on part two. We're on part two. We've had part one on the weekend, and Tuesday night, which is tomorrow night, will entail what could be another absolute slapping. And the same way that I sort of had this concern about the Newcastle game, I've got with tonight. Tonight, I keep thinking that today's Tuesday. It's not. It's Monday. But man, we've got this game tomorrow against Bayern Munich, and there's nothing really to say other than we are just not. We're not fit. We're not fit for purpose in playing a game against Bayern Munich um, and actually going and getting a positive result and winning the game. But above all else, the hopes that people hold on to in recent times of, well, we could still qualify. We could still qualify. Okay, I'll let you have your fun. I'll let you have your fun. It's possible. It is possible to qualify for the for the knockout stages of the Champions League. It is possible, but we have to win, and the other two teams in Copenhagen and Galatasaray have to draw for that to happen, for that to be the case. Because in that case, we'd finish 1 point in front of both of them. But that's two unlikelihoods that we've got to overcome in order to see us qualify out of the group stages. And I'll tell you what, probably would, if we managed to pull it off, as much as it's incredible we pulled it off against all the odds, at the same time it's sort of like, well, that day has to be easily the worst qualification from a Champions League group you've ever seen. Like, just there's nothing even close to it. It's got to be. It would have to be the worst group stage qualification ever from a Champions League group. Practically rooted bottom of the table for the most part of the group stage, just to end up stealing the second place qualifying spot on the last group stage game. Just be absolute madness. Be absolute madness if this happens. Watch out, Fuzzy, about 100% Football Bants channel. How we doing, man? How we doing? Do you know what's actually funny? Is I'm pretty sure I said watch out. I literally read what as watch. Right, I swear my brain's not been switched on today, but I've seemingly just played some low key played some 4D chess right there. That's crazy. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. It's not going to be a good evening tomorrow night, mate. It's not going to be good evening tomorrow night. It's going to be get fucked Manchester United. It's going to be that tomorrow night. I swear it's going to be. I mean, Bayern Munich, they're coming off the back of getting battered by Frankfurt. There can't be a world where Bayern don't want to get some response or some retribution. And the odds of us bouncing back from Bournemouth now, us bouncing back from Bournemouth is a realistic possibility. It is. But we're up against another team that needs a monumental bounce back. And they've got some hella good firepower to do it. We've got, a team that's not really fit for purpose, doesn't really understand what it's doing on a football pitch half the time. You've got technical players, pacey, skillful players, and some of the best one of the best strike forces that football on this planet has to offer. And against that defense, home or away, no way, Jose, is that going to be a happy ending to that story. Totally messed up the first sentence, meant to say watch. 4D chess, man. 4D chess. You have a chance of beating Bayern. It's the other results that may be the issue. And that's the thing. It's two miracles we've essentially got to overcome. You know, like in Top Gun Maverick, you know, we do it the first job in beating Bayern. That's miracle number one. No, you've got miracle number two to do as well to overcome. We've got two near improbables, right? Two improbables to overcome in order to seek qualification. And as much as we can celebrate it if it happens, at the same time, it's sort of the reality check. Hold on a second, you snatched second place, right, for qualifying out of your group stage from Copenhagen and Galatasaray. So as much as we can be happy to get to knockout stages, mate, I'm not going to be buzzing with that. I'm not going to be buzzing with that. I mean, to be honest, with the week that I've had and what I've been made to think about my team, my club, the players playing for this club, the manager, the other fans, the boards, and I'm hearing as well with the takeover nonsense that someone's come out to say, yeah, you know what, there's a possibility that the takeover might be pushed back to the other end of January now. And it's like, I'm pretty sure someone's probably just trying to milk this story that there's constant delays and pushing back and postponing certain happenings at the club. But yeah, man, it's there's so much net negatives at the moment that's sort of piled upon each other, and it's like a lasagna, or like an onion. It's all got layers to it. There's a whole host of layers to it. Man, we need the whole damn thing, the whole show just chucked away. Just the whole Manchester United show, drama, reality TV show, just chucked in the bin. Get in the bin. Get in the bin. Get it out of here, people. But even if we were to win tomorrow, even if we do, I'm not going to come onto a post-match reaction and say, I am so happy with what I've seen. To be honest, no. I won't do that. I won't cut this figure. I won't cut the happy-go-lucky figure. I'll cut out the reality check figure. We won the game, so what does that mean for Liverpool? We're going to lose that game. That's guaranteed loss. That's if we are to win tomorrow, which I don't think we are. I think we are going to get completely slapped up. Because there's a Bayern Munich coming to Manchester that got some serious intent to cause damage written all over their faces. They are not happy. And for a club that does hold exceptional standards, some, the standards are sort of slipping a little bit. But for a club that holds exceptional standards, they've got some retribution to get. They've got to answer back, because I'll tell you what, Bayern Munich fans, those are fans there that they don't have that much patience, and they're talking about replacing Thomas Tuchel. They're talking about replacements. They're talking about, I think, Xabi Alonso in the summer. Get Xabi Alonso in. I've seen that talk today. It's it's not great. It's not looking too good for United. Rajat, good to see you, man. How we doing? Got dairy milk? Not quite dairy. Not dairy. It's plant-based Alpro. It's the soya. From the soya beans, from the good old, you could say vegan beans. It's technically vegan alternative, but it's actually got a a decent flavour to it. It's not your classic sort of very milky um, tasting chocolate milk. Like you can almost taste the dairiness in chocolate milks that are dairy based, but this is like almost a milk chocolate melted into a glass, refrigerated, with a little bit of syrup in the mixture to provide that little bit of a sweeter flavour to it. Really, really nice stuff. I do this stuff out in Portugal as well, which out there in Portugal is really nice there as well. Like I enjoy the chocolate milks that both the UK and Portugal do. We have to hope on a Galatasaray Copenhagen draw to advance. Well, that's the thing. It's not that again, beating Bayern, fantastic. You've got to get the Galatasaray Copenhagen draw, and vice versa. We need two. We need two improbables to go in our favour tomorrow night, and improbable is just that. I think Galatasaray, very much viable candidates to win their game because they're two teams that are fighting also for second place. They are, so they're not going to rest on draws or losses. They're going to go full speed ahead. Both of those teams. That's going to be a slugfest over in Copenhagen, man. Kane hat-trick, maybe, possibly. I mean, he didn't score, I don't think, in the Eintracht Frankfurt game. And with his goal-scoring record as it is, it's madness. Absolute madness. Crazy amount of goals in the amount of games that he's played. Bayern got 5-1 drubbing. They will come into this match to prove a point. Exactly what I feel is going to be the case. You've got one eye on Pool as well. I'm not even focusing on Liverpool, to be honest. To be honest, that is literally the free hit. That is a free hit game. I'm not expecting competition. It's a training session. If you want to catch, right, a Liverpool training session, that's, for some reason really viewed widespread, just tune in to either Sky or TNT Sports on Sunday. Right, it should feature on your Super Sundays next weekend. So I'm pretty sure it's on Super Sunday. Yes, it is. Last game of the day at 4:30. Tune in and you can watch the Liverpool Stars, the Stars of Liverpool FC, undergoing a usual training session. They're doing it at Anfield as well, which is, that's a luxury. You get to watch training sessions at Anfield. And apparently they found some other local or national team to play against. I'm not sure how that game's going to go. It's going to be a very, very peculiar watch, I must say. I heard that team, apparently they call themselves Manchester United, but I can't, it's a bit of a mick take, isn't it? Manchester United usually is. I swear they're that club that were like the pinnacle of English football. But man, this little circus thing going around, trying, identity theft to stealing a logo, stealing a trademark logo, a copyrighted, image, and rocking around and trying to play professional football for 90 minutes every single, half a week. Yeah, it's not chalking up to be anything good, isn't it? Man, and that's talking about Sunday. We gotta get through Tuesday night first. Tuesday night, and my Christ above, it's gonna be a really, really tough watch, man. Really, really tough watch. I am not looking forward to it in the slightest. As for a team, if I wanted to win this game, what sort of a team am I looking at playing? To be quite frankly honest, who really cares? Who cares about what team plays? Who cares? Because everybody seems to be a culprit to this whole inconsistency Sometimes you play good, sometimes you play shit. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. We don't really know what it is we're going to have. We don't really know. We don't really know what United's going to turn up. So, on that basis, I couldn't accurately predict for you. I couldn't tell you, based off of what we've seen in recent times, that this player has done this and Ten Hag has started that person in that position, and what to expect. I mean, probably end up being the same team that got absolutely ran through by Bournemouth, knowing team selection logic for some reason. We're in for a tough ride. We are absolutely in for a tough ride. I think it's going to be the same team that played against Bournemouth. I do. Barring Martial starting up top, we'll probably have Rasmus Højlund because he's had a good goal scoring campaign in the Champions League. So that's probably the only sort of standout logical point. Maybe Garnacho on the left is in good thinking for again trying to get a goal scorer on the pitch. But everything else, looking at the team, how they behave, their mentality, their mindsets, their intensity, their work rates, the passion for the club, all non-existence or inconsistencies, if you will. That one game you get it, the next you don't. But then the next game after that is kind of like the draw. Because I thought the Chelsea game was, a very standout performance. One of the two games, and I say this legitimately. We've played two games this season, right, where we have absolutely deserved to win the game, and that's something that I should never even consider saying. We've only had two games this season that we deserved to win. Chelsea at home in the Premier League and Crystal Palace at home in the Carabao Cup. We have not deserved to win. Logically, right? We have not deserved to win any other game. We've not shown on a 90-minute basis that we've actually been the deserving team, fixated for a win this season in all competitions. Like, what else can be said about that? What else can be said about that? Big up the fuzz, big up Wolfgang. How are you doing, man? Hope all things are somewhat staying afloat for you with the whole Chelsea debacle. Like, I'm sort of just thinking, like, Chelsea are in their own sort of situation that is, I won't say similarities to United, because I don't think the situations are similar, but I think the fan perceptions of the clubs being, if you will, say finished, or that they've changed, the complexion of these clubs has changed. Manchester United completely destroyed by the lack of care from its ownerships. Whereas Chelsea, some people will say, well, that club's been destroyed by its ownership, not through means of not caring, but rather through means of trying to implore or trying to deploy some form of system or ethos at the club that's backfired tremendously. And I haven't got as far as Chelsea is concerned, I mean, they might have by far the worst record in the league than Man United do, but I don't know, man. Fizz, are you Ten Hag out? Um, I'm not Ten Hag out, and to be quite frankly honest, I'm not necessarily, Ten Hag in. Ten Hag is the solution. Like I'm not in that camp either. I'm not really in the camp where I'm either backing players as the solution or the manager as the solution. I can identify the manager's not the problem, but he ain't the solution with how things currently stand. And that's the thing. He's not the problem. He's not the solution, because no manager in the last 10 years has been the solution to the problems we've had. And that's become ever more ever more prevalent. It's become ever more obvious that they've never been the solution to what we've needed to have solved. And I think the solution lies above that, and we are waiting for the for this takeover, this 25% deal to happen, so that there is a chance, a shot, a very legitimate shot at, you know, having the solution be brought in. And that might be the well, I say the turning point. It might be a turning point there for United. And I think that there is something to at least be positive and to back about that. Despite me wanting Qatar, I still think that even with Sergio 25%, having him come in to overhaul the football structure, for me, I believe is always going to be a set in stone positive change for the club, and it's one that evolutionizes us to be much more, say, respected by by those that work within, but also those on the outside as well. That the institution is respected. That the work ethos is respected, is followed. It's adhered to by everybody that does have a contract or is employed at that club. Whether I mean, it's kind of like I've said it, I think once or twice already, that for me, I feel like I'm almost half checked out. I'm almost halfway checked out of just really sort of caring or following this club with like passion or anything, because it's like it's almost irrelevant right now when the long-termism of this club is still yet to kickstart. And if the long-termism that comes into the club provides us with great positivity and actually imposes good changes that do better the club, then we can sit there and say, thank goodness for that. I've got something to support. I've got something to back. But then the long-termism could also be, could be the double-edged sword. It could, the seed could cut both ways. You might have it that this long-termism is actually, it's all smoke and mirrors. It was just a ruse all to begin with. Sergeant Ratcliffe comes in and employs a load of people, or keeps the people currently at the club in power, in positions, employed with their, incompetencies at just doing the simple aspects of their jobs. We will, man, we've got. I think it's one of those. I just want the takeover, just get it done and out the way. Give us the certainty so we know how to feel about our club and what to feel, and what to think. We want to know. We want guarantees now. We don't want to constantly sit around in hypotheticals, wondering, are we going to be title contenders ever again? Are we going to be a Premier League side forever and ever and ever? Is this going to be the start of the official demise of the club? We want guarantees to know what to think and how to feel, but we just haven't got that at the moment. And amidst all of that, you've got a team, a collective of players that play well one game, absolutely shit the bed the next. And people, I think, are focusing, or people who focus on that, have sort of reverted a little bit back to the typical sort of, oh, it doesn't matter what the ownership does, doesn't matter what anybody else does. If team wins, players amazing. Team loses, manager crap. It's just the simple black and white perspectives on things on football. As much as I want to say that the ignorance would be bliss, for me, I'm too aware. I'm too wary of the bigger picture here, and it does change. It does change the perception and the feelings about what I am witnessing right now. And I want it to end so I can be much more emotionally stimulated by supporting Manchester United, that we get to enjoy the highs and despair with the lows, but ultimately knowing that there's one goal at the end of everything, that we are aiming to get back to where we once were, and to be well respected, and to be um, a solid football asset in you know in the global game. So that's what I want. That's what we're hoping for. Do you think you need a massive overhaul of players out? Martial, Rashford, all of them, Abs, every single one. Two names you've mentioned there, I mentioned on Tony Claude's show the other day, on yesterday, that Martial, Rashford, and Shaw, three names there. They've been around playing for Manchester United since Louis van Gaal. These are guys that have been here looking at the way things have gone, and to think about what we know now, they have been here far too long. Martial should have gone in the summer. He didn't. Rashford was offered a move, or there was talk of a move the summer before. That didn't happen. A lot of people have got questions and doubts about Luke Shaw. That under Van Gaal, he was sort of developing into a relatively decent left back, and then injuries hamper the development side of things, and then he's sort of a hit and miss, blows hot and cold every other day. And a part of those, in and amongst the crop of players that have had this inconsistency problem for years, and years and years, and this goes back to the days of Van Gaal with the inconsistencies. So massive overhaul, I think, is thereabouts right. Might be say understatement. Massive being the term to claim the understatement, but yeah, it is definitely needed, 100% needed. Longhead Yeti, good to see you, man. Big ups to you. Make sure to subscribe to, of course, Longhead Yeti's Cave here. Does Nottingham Forest watch-alongs, as well as watch-alongs for other clubs as well on your weekends, so you do get plenty of content, plenty and plenty more of content on that channel there. Make sure to go show him some love, as well as subscribing to Football Band's channel as well. Arsenal content creator there too. Bayern Munich 12, Manchester United 0. I would say that's probably more the Liverpool. That's probably going to be more the Liverpool score, Yeti. I wouldn't say that Bayern will smash 12 past us without reply. They might want to do that, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Let's be more realistic here, right? I'll cut that in half and say 6-0. At least we are both including Wolf European Elite. Yeah, man. Big ups to everybody in the chat though, and currently sat on 6 likes as well. Currently sat on 6 likes. Big ups to everybody that has smashed the likes. If you have not done so already, then please do. I'll be really, really appreciated. If we can get this up to a 10 likes target, we'll try and aim for 10 likes as a minimum for every stream. If we're able to do that, that would be fantastic. It can show more consistency than any player that's played for Manchester United in the last 10 years, that's for sure. If we can hit that target, so let's try and make that that good stuff happen. But thank you to everybody that has tuned in, that has smashed the likes, and anybody that does subscribe. Thank you very, very, very much for the love and support on all things with supporting this channel. How's our mate Fuzzy holding up after that Bournemouth Holy Ghost impactation? Tony Claude Cunner, Tony Claude Gunner, how are we doing, man? Hope everything's well with you. To be honest, I'd say I wouldn't say depressed. I wouldn't say depressed. I won't say that I'm depressed or completely downbeat about it. I'll say I'm more sort of lackluster with how I'm meant to feel about my club's future, such as predicting games now and sort of knowing what to expect from Manchester United when the reality of the situation is we don't know what we're going to get with United. And that's got to be a frustration for anybody that wants to, try and do previews for Manchester United matches. I don't know how everybody else does it with predicting what's going to happen in games so consistently, but, with as much of the information or eye test results that they get with these players. But yeah, man, it's it feels like we're sort of swinging between a rock and a hard place, and we're just sort of face planting on either side, and we're sort of going to be going through that valley or that trench where we're just smashing our face off each side of the walls, and we're going to come out maybe coming out looking like we've been through a 12-round sparring match with Mike Tyson with some knuckle dusters on his knuckles. It's going to be absolutely peak. Smash the likes, people. 100%. Please do smash them likes and subscribe if you haven't done so already. All of that good stuff. Big ups to the chats and my mates down here. Absolutely. All the regulars, that do pop by, stop by, chat, have a little back and forth in the chats is always great to see. Your reply will be tears. I mean, thankfully, I've not cried about anything with Manchester United. I've had several instances where I wanted to cry, but thankfully, I've not cried just yet. That might still be a happening. Or something that happens that in the near future, that might be the case. Be up, Tony, man. Great show yesterday. I see the United bloke. He's quite a chirpy lad. The United bloke that you had on your show yesterday, Tony. You're quite a chirpy lad, and I think you'd be fantastic to have a conversation with. And I do need some more United content creators to sort of merge with a bit. Get some content out there with some guests, some United brethren on the show, because that's one thing that is very, very obviously lacking with a United channel, is that there's not really anybody that's United based featuring on it. So yeah, hopefully there's a way in which we can change that in the near future. I would like to get more people on. I have extended an offer to one or two people, but no yeses thus far, but the intent is definitely a welcome idea. So hopefully there is something that we can do in the future. Now Spurs have already won apparently. Well, Spurs have gone literally. Apparently, I've heard this right. Tottenham Hotspur won the Premier League last night. I think it was. They won the Premier League. I mean, can you believe it? They've actually won the Premier League. It's incredible. They beat Newcastle 4-1, and that was it. That's all she wrote. You know, end the season. End the season. Stop the count. Stop the vote. You know, there's yeah, it's a strange one. Very, very strange one. Um, but you know what? We'll just leave Spurs fans. You know, Spurs fans to the delusions that they feel, that they go through, that they experience every time they get higher up the table. You have to you get a lot of hospital admittances from Spurs fans. You know, having to deal with nosebleeds. It's just like, so why is your nose bleeding, Mr. Tottenham fan? I don't know. I just looked at the Premier League table, and I just, you know, I woke up here in, you know, A&E. I couldn't believe it. I see Tottenham Hotspur high up the table. I think, my gosh, I'm not used to this feeling. I'm not used to these emotions. You know, it's been a very common theme for Spurs to be, you know, lacking, if you will, sort of further down the table, but they're scared that you'll be a better United creators than them, Fuzzy. I'm sure there's plenty of United content creators that are better than me. I think maybe perhaps there's a few viewpoints or opinions that they might have. But I think is like, nah, not on the same page with that one. But as far as quality of content, I mean, there's probably some shows out there that are United based. I've got like explosions on their screen. Like it looks like it's like the stream's directed by Michael Bay. Explosions everywhere. Maybe there's a United content creator out there that's got that going on. And to be honest, that's hella cool. That would be hella cool seeing a stream with just explosions happening all over your screen. That'd be brilliant. But I do want to start doing some collaborations with. We tend to like the big teams at the City ground. Wow. Thankfully for you at home this season, for you, Yeti, Nottingham Forest do have a sort of like the feature of playing at home. You tend to do better, right? You tend to do better. It's essentially a fortress. I mean, perhaps fortress for home venue. United this season, we've not got a fortress anywhere. Home and away, we are just Christ awful. We're absolutely Christ awful. For me, no shot. Absolutely no shot. I mean, I was thinking that, you know, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Bayern, 3 home games in a row. Try and ride the home fan support, right? The home side momentum thing. But it's like we tried to intentionally make it another episode of Mythbusters. Like you beat Chelsea, oh man, the home crowd will bounce in. Going to Bournemouth, get absolutely gutted like we're pigs. You know, by a farmer just down the road. It's just like, yeah, nah, these United lot, nah, they're not too fussy. They're not too fussy. They're all right. They're no slippery fuckers. They're easy to deal with. Bournemouth literally might as well say, well, they might as well have just picked up Old Trafford and took it down south and stuck that as their home stadium instead. I mean, they played like they were the home side. Like they were that comfortable. They were that comfortable. Forget Theatre of Nightmares. It's literally everybody that comes to Old Trafford, that's their home venue. That is their home venue. I told you to cause controversy before the game. What sort of controversy? Like me, or cause controversy as in like the fans um, causing dilemmas at Old Trafford? Because to be honest, I was wary that Bournemouth could beat us, but I just never even thought about Bournemouth just completely dismantling us, where that game could have been 4-5-0 type scorelines. Technically, it should have been a 4-0 scoreline. But, and that's the thing. Even when I tried to keep an open mind with predictions in terms of, you know, games that where, United, we could win this game, or United, you could lose that game, just try and keep an open mind where it's like, I'm not putting all of my eggs in one basket. Try and put some in the other basket as well. But then it's like, even then, United just like, hold on, he's predicted that we could either win or lose. Could either win or lose. No, guys, we've got to get battered. We've got to get absolutely dismantled, get completely ripped apart, just absolutely battered, brutalized. The one thing that I just wasn't at all considering. Wasn't at all considering. Say you spoke to the players and they want to play at Arsenal or City. They go to so I see what you mean. Like the build up to the Chelsea game after Newcastle, get people to come out and say, "Oh, we've got to defend the manager, fight for the manager, fight for the manager," and get them to put in the heroic performances. Where it's like, "Oh, I told you so. I told you. Oh, these players. Who said that these players are not playing for the manager? Who said that the dressing room was lost? Who said that?" It's to shut the critics up. But that's about it. You cover first base, but hold on a second. In a game of baseball, there's 3 bases, and then the home base you got to get to. So you can't just cover the first one and say, "Hey ho, that's it. Let's all pack it up and head home." You can't just do that. Unfortunately, you got to cover it with all various bases. And the thing is that people that are acknowledging to or knowledgeable to um, like for people that are knowledgeable to the situation, look at this and they say, well, and this is the thing, I was close to slipping into that trap of really believing these players are actually really fighting for this manager, but it's just like, but are they though? Are they? I was got to be wary about it because it has been a 10-year cycle. It has been a 10-year rinse and repeat cycle going on at this club. And now it's just like, well, now I know that I'm definitely going to have to root myself into one camp, and that is that I am not backing these players to be anything successful to any degree. So I will not sit here and say, I back these players to do really well. I'm not. I'm firmly stating this right here, right now. Those players, they have not earned my respect to support you. I do not support you as players of Manchester United. I do not support you. I refuse to support you. So call me a fake fan if you want to. It does not matter to me. The thing is that if you think that I will be a fake fan for saying that I refuse to support these players, then it's your loss. If you start to swallow and accept that these players will be as inconsistent as they like, they will make you to look like a fool or a clown week in, week out, and that you go on this cycle of loving these players, having a breakup, missing these players and then getting back together with them. Like, I'm not going to go through that cycle from a fan's perspective until I know that there is a genuine movement, a seismic movement at Manchester United Football Club where it is no longer about player power, where it is no longer about players are the most protected asset at the club. For the players to get your competitions, to get your placement in the starting 11, it's got to turn into the wild, wild west for you. You've got to really make some proper sacrifices to get your place on the starting 11, on the team sheets. And then you have to prove it in every time you step onto that pitch. Until I know that I can trust that this club are enforcing that sort of principle, then I can start to say, well, at least these players, I don't have to worry about them doing things like this deliberately. I can actually trust that this club and the board, structure at the board, sporting technical directors, whoever, will not sit there and allow players to run the manager's position and decide when they want someone sacked, they just pull the plug. You will literally get people that will say, if you decide at any given point you want to undermine a manager, we will find you and we will kill you. Probably not kill. Just thought it'd be nice to insert a bit of a Liam Neeson quote, but you might as well stick Liam Neeson in there, to be fair. But it's like, seriously, it's like you go to leak to the press, you get found out, your career's done. You start throwing in the towel, you don't show any effort, you'll have a lack of care, your career's done. Or have people, entrusted members of the squad, to have power and influence over other individuals in that squad, right, as senior leaders of that dressing room, that absolutely live and breathe the need to win and be successful, so that players don't get the easy ride or the comfort that they seek from teammates. They're not going to get that, because the senior team leader is going to come into your dressing room after you put in a stinker performance and you want to blame everybody. You want to blame everybody else, right? You want to blame whoever it is. Senior leader comes into that dressing room and says, you little asshole, you try play like that again and we're on to you. And it should be like that. It should be like that, because you provoke players to react to that in that environment where it is the first priority is that you win. It's all about winning to you. That's all should matter to you. We have a leak apparently talking crap at Nottingham Forest. Who is leaking? Who is leaking at Forest? I personally think Glazers have the players' backs, so players don't care. What we've seen it before, that the likes of Joel Glazer, Mourinho, and this is something that is to take noteworthy of. I think it was Mourinho said, I wanted Martial sold. I wanted Anthony Martial sold. Who stopped or blocked the player from being sold or put on the transfer list? Joel fucking Glazer. He put his filthy nose where it didn't belong, yeah, and said, Jose, you're going to keep Martial. I think he's got a future here. I think he's good for the club. Well, that's not backing your manager, is it? Mourinho wanted rid of Martial. He wanted rid of Paul Pogba. I mean, people say, oh, but they're the ballers. They're the ballers. He wants mediocrity. That's actually interesting, that, because it was Van Gaal wanted mediocrity over talented players. As Mourinho wanted mediocrity over talented players. It was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted mediocrity over talented players. It was Ralf Rangnick wanted mediocrity over talented players. Now it's Ten Hag wants mediocrity over talented players. There's a common theme here, guys. There's a common theme here. Manager wants a player gone. Clubs say no. Fans say, why is the manager trying to get rid of that player? Oh, he's a clown. He's a clown. He's a clown. We know something that we don't. And he believes that it is a better decision to offload a player from the dressing room, from that squad, to focus on actually having people that want to be there. Martial has essentially been either trying to cut the frustrated figure, leave, be sold for years and years and years, and he's still here. He's still somehow here. The best we have gotten to him leaving the club was a loan deal to goddamn Sevilla. And even Sevilla were just like, nah, we kind of don't really want him to stay. You can have him back. It costs less to pay off a manager than it does to pay off those players. We all know the Glazers are money first, and that is a reality bites type comment. That is a reality bites type comment, and the system of the club will prioritize changing. One very it's like one micro issue, and then instead of fixing the majority issue, people would have thought, well, from a commonsensical standpoint, you literally get rid of 10. That's like you've got 10 problems, 9 common problems, right? They're the same as each other, and then they all cause each other as well. They all cause each other the problems, or they're the incision for the 10 problems altogether. You've also then got 1/10 or one problem that's different from the other 9. And the problem is that this one problem doesn't have influence over the other 9. What happens is the one problem is seen as the problem because, again, mass majority say, it's not us, it's him. So take the one problem out, the 9 problems remain, stick another problem in, or stick another one in. Hey, the 9 say, well, you're either with us or against us. Most cases, they always end up against them because they want an easy ride. So 9 problems then make a problem out of the extra one. And that's kind of the rinse and repeat cycle that we've sort of been faced with. It's all corrupt, man. How does Romero not get a red yesterday? I have no idea. I didn't even know that guy should have got a red card. And then I saw a slow motion replay, and I was just like slow motion or not, even at full speed, it's like, why the hell is Romero getting up to put his studs into a player's ankles? What for? Well, he's literally putting up his studs to down a player. We've seen players, accidentally put studs into other players' legs and see red for that. So you're punished, perhaps accidental or unfortunate or misfortunate, but what you're actually going to do is then ignore a deliberate, intentional red. There was the intent. The intent was there. We'll not decide on that. And to be honest, he should have seen straight red for that. And you know what? He should have been banned for 5 games. He should be serving a 5-game suspension right now, but he's not. Sort of, you choose what you want. It's like selective hearing. Choose what you want to hear, choose what you don't want to hear. Referees are just selective officiating. They choose what they want to punish, they choose what they don't want to punish. The fact is they've opened an apology to Newcastle as well to say, sorry, we missed this. This should have been a red card. So what's that apology doing for Newcastle? Exactly. How does an apology to Newcastle compensate for a potential, injury to a player, and what could have been an injury to a player because somebody decided to intentionally cause harm? what's the compensation? But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. Should be reviewed, but it won't be. Probably not, to be honest. I know that Newcastle United fans, they'll look at that for a long time, for a long, long, long time, and they'll believe, look, like we should have, like they should have had a red card, and it'll be a talking point for a long, long, long time. It will be a talking point. The whole point of refs is to keep players safe. It is to mediate the game, to officiate it, to punish accordingly to the happenings on the pitch. And any talk, by the way, any talk about issuing, I mean, this is interesting. Would you still brandish a 5-game suspension, right, as a straight red card punishment, or no, 4-game suspension? That was 3 was previous, but a straight red card, right, or a 4-game suspension to Christian Romero, despite the game being, all said and done, for a red cardable offence? Would you still impose that right here, right now? I absolutely would. Do you know why? Because the game was all said and done against Brighton under the days of Ollie. We had drawn the game. I believe it was a 2-2, or I think it was a 2-2 scoreline at the point. The final whistle had gone. Someone said after the game, that's a penalty, ref. Referee checks it. Referee goes, oh, that is a penalty. The game doesn't get restarted. They literally say, right, well, you get to take a penalty right here, right now. After the game, after the final whistle's gone, you get to take a penalty. We scored the penalty. We won the game. That happened after the final whistle. Okay, so suspend him after the final whistle. That's something that doesn't get done a lot as well. That if it's a red card offence that someone's or the officiating has missed, and it's like, oh, well, we can't do anything about it now. Well, actually, you could, because the point of view there is that you're reviewing things to come to conclusion to know that someone should face punishment. It's if the FA, if a player did something reckless on a pitch, the FA intervene and issue a game ban to a player. Or if a manager says something out of pocket to them, what happens? FA issues suspension. Okay, well, there you go. There's a player that was reckless on the pitch. The officiating teams have clarified that it should have been a red card offence. So someone's gotten away with a red card challenge complicit to the officiating teams, and you let it go. You think, I know, let's apologise. Okay, so anybody that believes that suspending a manager or a player for reckless behaviour on a pitch by the FA, that fans believe is unjust. So you're going to start issuing apologies for every suspension you do as well. You're going to have to go back on your word in that in those aspects as well. You can't just have one, a little bit of one, a little bit of the other, and just everything else is just scatter. You can't have it that way. You got to be laying down the letter of the law at all times, and that's what I stand by. That should have been a red, then reviewed, and suspension should be longer. I mean, that's the thing, is if it's one of those where it is a discipline infringement on the pitch, I mean, the FA already issues suspensions outside of, active game time, to punishing players for, reckless behaviour. Well, I mean, the officiating team, have they've justifiably said, well, yeah, that's a red card. He should have been sent off. Why would you send him off? Because it was reckless behaviour on the pitch. It was I'd say behaviour. It's not tackle or challenge. You don't decide you're going to Sparta kick someone's ankle with studs fitted to the underside of your boots for no reason at all. And it wasn't like he's going to reach for a ball either. He just kicks out. He literally just kicks out and goes up, halfway up the up the ankles, up the shins. So reckless behaviour, yes. The FA, can they intervene with that? Yes. Can the FA issue a suspension? Yes. So why not, if it's a VAR thing? Well, cool. You come to the conclusion. So now appropriate the punishment. Makes sense, doesn't it? Or am I again missing the point that it's selective officiating? You choose when you want to punish somebody, but then you also choose when you don't. Casemiro's back in training, right? I bet you there's a conversation about him in the offices. Let's think about how we're going to get that guy suspended. Maybe, because you never know with officials. They might pick and choose people. He's on our watch list, guys. He's on our watch list. I'm shocked too, haven't took it further. Injuries are killing him. Yeah, to be honest. Absolutely. And I mean, you get other clubs challenging for various different things. You've got an opportunity to challenge for something right here, right now, Newcastle. One of your players could have been seriously, seriously hurt on that game, and you should stand by defending your player that could have faced a serious injury. So call it out. Call it out for what it is. Even an ex-ref has said he's shocked. There you go. There you go. I mean, it sums it up. Anyways, in terms of a wrap-up summarization for prediction tomorrow on the Bayern Munich game. As far as the starting lineup goes, I don't really care as much as to what team I want to see. So I'm going to leave it at this, that Ten Hag's going to choose the same team that play against Bournemouth, because that's how he rolls. That's just how he rolls. He plays the same team, irrespective of whatever it is that happens. So same team. That's going to be -1 change. So you're going to have an Honor in goal, Reggie on left back, Shaw left centre back, Maguire right back, right centre back, Dalot right back, Amrabat, McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, Anthony, and then Højlund up top. That's what you're going to get. That's what the team's going to be. That's what the team is going to be. As far as the score goes, I mean, God only knows. I'm going 3-0 Bayern. I'm going 3-0 Bayern. I've got no faith in this team to deliver anything. I've got no confidence of this team delivering a solid result or delivering a positive performance. And Bayern Munich is not the sort of team that United would go and do that against, especially with the way things are this season. And compile the misery. It's only going to get worse on Sunday. But that's where we are right now. So I've gone with 3-0 Bayern. You guys let me know your thoughts and your feelings about the game tomorrow night in the comments section down below. You get your score predictions in, and if you so fancy it, pop your predicted lineups in the comment section as well. Who do you want to see playing? Who do you want to see getting the minutes? Who do you want to see getting a chance on the football pitch? But yeah, Casemiro and Martinez, by the way, are back in training. They are now on the grass. They are doing what it is that most people usually do. Martinez and Casemiro, big misses for this team, back in training. Thank God for that. Amad Diallo, I think, is practically on the cusp of being available for selection now. And so that's another player that's back for United. So, yeah, we'll have to see. We're going to have to see what happens. It's going to be nasty, in my opinion. I agree. It is going to be nasty. And it's going to be a very, very difficult to stomach sort of evening for Manchester United, and that's That's just the bitter pill that we're going to have to swallow. Anyways, guys, that's it from me for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Big ups to everybody who's liked the ting, liked the stream. If you're watching on playback, then please do hit that like button, as well as subscribing if you haven't done so already. Big ups to the regulars that have stopped by once again: Long-Haired Yeti, Wolfang Division, Tony Claude Gunner, and Football Bants, Raja as well. Make sure to subscribe to Football Bants, to Long-Haired Yeti, to Tony Claude Gunner, and to Wolfang Division. Make sure to go show all of those guys some love and support as well on their channels and all of that good stuff. It is Old Trafford, and to be honest, as much as it's Old Trafford, there's no fear factor about Old Trafford at all. It's I think it's Manchester United will play as the away team, home and away, and that's kind of where we are at. That's kind of where we're at. But anyways, thank you very much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support, and we'll be back with post-match reaction. Or post-murder reaction. I might literally call it that. I might call it the post-murder reaction. It's going to be crazy. Kane comes back. Oh my days, he is. He's going to be one to duck for cover from. He's going to be one to duck for cover from. Bro, you okay? I'm okay. Sort of a bit gutted with talking about United. You know, the same way, right, that Lee gets pissed off when he talks about Arsenal, right? I feel flat talking about United because there's nothing really to be truly excited about, and that we're going to see a lot more short-term pain about to slap us in the face. It's kind of like you walk into a fight against a world champion as a boxer, or a UFC fighter, and the guy you're about to go step into the octagon or ring with is a million miles better than you, and they're going to absolutely slap the head off of your shoulders. That's kind of the anticipation that we face as United fans. So I'm not. I'm. I, as much as I'd love to smile and be excited, guys, we're headed for amazing, successful days. As the promised land's right around the corner. It's just Bayern Munich, just this grizzly bear that's ready to rip your head off, just sat around the corner, or a Tyrannosaurus Rex or something. You look tired. I am tired. Tired of supporting United at the moment, but I want change. I want change. I want it quick. I want it now. I want to have some belief. Great show, bro. Big ups, man. Thank you very much for tuning in, Yeti. It's always a pleasure to see you, man. I hear you there now myself. You and me both. And that's why I joke about this, the counselling. It's our shows are like counselling sessions. We share with the group, like AA meetings. Yeah, everybody shares their emotions and their feelings with the group, and we're all here to support each other. Once everyone's finished talking, we all got a clap. Do you know what? I think we need to do that. If we all have it where everybody who has their channels, right, if their team has had terrible weekends, we do a show that specifically is a collusion of fans of those teams that have lost, and that we all sort of had this thing where we all share our match reactions in depressive fashion, and after everyone's finished speaking, we'll clap each other. He hitting the milk card after this. I'm already there, mate. Oh man. It's called group therapy. It is group therapy. But anyways, man, big ups to everybody for watching. Thank you very much. And tomorrow night, post-match reaction. We'll see how it goes, guys. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Let's see if United's live or die tomorrow night. Big ups, everyone. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.